guys, this is Miss Chantelle and I am back with another video. We will be making root vegetable chips today, which are delicious and nutritious, and they use a variety of root vegetables, and you can use the ones that I have here, or you can even switch it up and add like parsnips or celery root or any other root vegetables that you can think of. So the ones that we're using today are sweet potatoes, carrots, regular potatoes, and beets. I went ahead and peeled these beforehand just to save a little bit of time, but that's the only step that you have to do. You gotta peel them, and then we're gonna slice them really, really thin. So the device that we'll be using today is called a mandolin. It is a really cool device. You can add like different attachments to it. Like this one is a, it makes thin slices, but you could add ones that kind of cut it into like French fry style. You could do like crinkle cut. And you slide those on, but this is also a really dangerous device because the blade is really sharp. So when you're using this, as you're grating, you want to make sure that you don't get too close to the blade so you don't cut yourself. So I'm going to start grating the vegetables now. This has a thick setting and a thin setting, so I set it to the thin setting so we can get them really, really thin, and so that when we bake them in the oven, they will get really crunchy. So here we go. And I'm going to do the sweet potatoes now, or the sweet potato, singular. Now I'm going to do the potatoes next, and then I'll do the beets last, because the beets, they have like a really strong color to them, and I'm worried that it'll affect the vegetables. Now, the last vegetable that we're going to do are the beets. Ugh. Also, be prepared to have your hands a little pinkish red for a while. Just got done with the beets, and I just wanted to show off that this is what our like thinly sliced root veggies look like. So we've got the sweet potatoes here, the potatoes, the carrots, and then the beets are still in this container. They look so beautiful. So once all that is done, you're going to put your vegetables into an ice bath. An ice bath is just a mixture of ice and water. These are going to sit in the ice bath for about 30 minutes. And then once those are done, we're going to dry them, season them, and then put them in the oven. And I have two separate ice baths here because the beets, their color is going to bleed. And I don't want our other root veggies to lose their like natural color. So I'm going to put all of these into this bowl, and then the beets are going to go into this bowl. So it's been a little over 30 minutes that these have been sitting in the ice bath, and the next step is to drain them. So I have my strainer here. I'm going to drain these, and then I'm going to set them on this tray with paper towels to let them dry, because you want to make sure that they get as dry as possible so that when they're baking they can get as crispy as possible. I'm going to start with the sweet potatoes, carrots, and potato bowl. Just take it over to the sink. Have gotten a chance to dry now. I'm going to transfer them from where they're drying onto these two baking trays. And when I do that, I'm going to be adding some sunflower oil. I'm going to be adding some black pepper, some garlic, some thyme, and some salt to season. But you can get really creative here. You could add more like Asian style seasonings with like sesame, oil, and some other things, or you could go more Mediterranean. You could even go more like Middle Eastern. It's really up to you, but I'm going to keep it kind of simple for this recipe. Got our trays all set up. Make these have space. And all my trays over some. I'm being pretty generous with the seasonings because I want to make sure that these have flavor when they come out of the oven. Adding the thyme next. Oop. They already smell so good. I think it was the garlic powder that is just making it smell amazing. Butter. Alright. And then now you just gotta mix. So I set the oven at 375 and it has had the chance to preheat. The oven is actually ready to go. So I will be putting these in there for about 20 minutes. I'm gonna eyeball them and see how they're doing after 20 minutes, and if they need a bit more time, I'll leave them in for a bit longer. But the recipe says 20 minutes, so I'm hopeful that they will be ready in 20 minutes. So I just took the vegetables out of the oven, and this is what they look like. They got a little bit burnt, but they still taste really, really good. And they took a lot longer than the 20 minutes that was anticipated. But yeah, try this recipe, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for watching.